All right, well, thanks, Scott, and we welcome everyone to tonight's webinar presented by Agri-Best Feeds. We're glad to have you here with us on a March evening, as it seems like across the country. March, the day, first part of March might have come in like a lamb, but the lion soon came after, with a lot of folks seeing weather across many portions of this country. And so we're glad to have you here with us as tonight's webinar that we have in store. Of course, the title of our presentation here tonight, as you can see by looking at your screen, True Feed Efficiency, Cattle Performing Better on Less Forage. And boy, in the cattle business or the animal feed business, that is the name of the game. And tonight we're going to talk about that. As you heard of us a little bit ago, some of the instructions by Scott on how to raise or how to answer or ask questions. We're going to give you the opportunity tonight to ask questions to our presenter, to some of our panelists as well. So we do want to give you that opportunity. But tonight our presenter is Scott Anderson, who is with Agri-Best Feeds. And as we have our presentation again tonight, as we are talking on true feed efficiency. And Scott, at this time, I will turn it over to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Justin, and we certainly always appreciate having you here with us. We're very excited about this true feed efficiency, cattle performing better on less forage. It is so important all the time, but really critical in drought years like we've been facing this last year, and they have predicted as we move forward. And I was just down in Nebraska last week and actually visiting with Heath Zollner, one of our dealers down there in the south of the Kearney area, and he was telling me that he's gone to some different seminars, and this could be the most critical time of grazing that there has ever been in anybody's lifetime. When you are coming out of a drought situation or the little bit of rain that we might get, the root systems and things in the grass is just so critically important at this point. So anyway, got a question here on. Okay, hopefully hopefully that got rid of the music. I guess there was some background music there. Hopefully that has solved that problem. So anyways, this true feed efficiency is really important, irregardless how much forage you have, but critical in a drought year. So as we look at this, Agri-Best Feeds, our three-part goal is what's best for that animal, their health, their performance, forage utilization, how we can get the most out of the grasses that are available, whether that's standing grass or if that's hay or whatever other forage types you're using. That's actually your crop, because you want to convert that to meat and milk, and your harvester is that cow. So if you can tune that harvester up to maximize use of that forage, it really brings you to the bottom line producer profits, and that's a huge thing, of course, with everybody looking at their bottom lines on increased production cost, and so I'm going to go and look at a net day cost sheet, and I'll bring that up on your screen here. And I think this is kind of exciting to look at and really consider as we dive into this true feed efficiency. What I want us to notice here is the cost of Sweep Pro. So Sweep Pro is what we're going to be talking about this evening. It's a great supplement, and the cost of the Sweep Pro is about $110 per 250 pound block, and our target consumption is between 3/4 of a pound and 1.25 pounds. Here we're using 1 pound per head per day, and the cost of the Sweep Pro, your complete supplement, is about 44 cents per head per day. Now, one of the things that we see with cattle is that they perform better on less feed. So if you've got mature cattle, average score, kind of on a maintenance diet, we've seen that they'll actually consume up to 25% less hay and perform better. And then with growing cattle, they'll eat about the same, maybe a little bit less, and actually perform better as well. So we're going to take a look at this and look and see if a cow averaged eating 30 pounds of forage consumed per cow per day, and at a 25% hay savings, that means you're saving approximately 7.5 pounds per head per day. Now this is where the true feed efficiency number comes in, is that hay savings is actually money that you are not having to spend. So on this example, with a hay cost at $125 per ton, what we see is that there is a 47-cent hay savings, which in this scenario gives you a 3-cent per cow per day profit by actually feeding the block. You're saving that much hay that you get your complete supplement, your vitamin, mineral, trace minerals, all your protein, your energy, all of that, and are still putting an extra 3 cents in your pocket per head per day. Now, I've been traveling around this region, and we can't have, there's nowhere you can buy a $125 hay that's of any value at all. So if we get into some decent quality hay, I've heard everywhere 200, 250. I'll just put 200 in there, and as you can see, that the more that hay costs, the more critical that hay savings is. As you can see on this example, the hay savings goes all the way up to 75 cents. So that comes down there and equals 31 cents per head per day. So this is kind of a fun little calculator to utilize. One of the things when you look at supplementation, some supplementation actually stimulate appetite. So the concept is that the cattle will eat more dry matter, and if they eat more dry matter, then you just have to change this minus here to actually a plus. So on this example, if they were eating 25% more, then you'd have to add that 75 cents to the 44 cents, and you'd be up over $1 extra cost by using that supplement that would stimulate that appetite. So anyway, this is something that you can find, and I will see if I can pull this up real quick here. If you go to www.agribestfeeds.com, and you go to the cattle page, and then you can see right below where it says get an estimate, you have the net day cost when feeding Sweet Pro. That's the one we were just looking at, that second calculator down there, and you can download that onto your own computer and do some work on that. Feel free to give us a call at this number, the 866-601-6646, if you have any questions with that, or you can shoot us an email, and we'd be happy to help you out with that. So the net day cost is very, very important as we look at the forage utilization and the producer profits. And we're kind of driving that from the nutrients that your cattle need. So there's 3 basic nutritional needs that they have: your energy, your protein, your vitamin, mineral, trace minerals, and kind of the other nutrients there. And the lion's share of that comes through your grasses and your hays, through your forages. Now, at some point, your forages lack one or more of those nutritional needs. At that point, we need to supplement. We need to fill in the gaps that grass and forage is lacking. And so that's where we come in with an excellent supplement product like Sweet Pro. And in Sweet Pro, there's energy, protein, vitamin, minerals, trace minerals, but there's also a digestive aid. And what this digestive aid does is actually helps improve the cattle's ability to digest that forage, get more value out of that forage. So in this example, the total digestible nutrients of this forage is up there around that 50 in this example. And we're seeing that we're getting up to 25% more digestible nutrients out of the forage because of this probiotin, and so that would actually raise that total digestible nutrients up into that 60 range. So that's pretty impressive. And then we like to have a great foundation on all operations of Redmond Natural Trace Mineral. And Redmond Natural Trace Mineral provides a complete mineral tune-up. It's natural sea salt with over 80 natural trace minerals in it, and a very good safety net on the mineral side. And we'll talk a little bit more. We'll break each one of these down a little bit more as we go along. But as we look at this, once again, we're talking about supplementing the grass, filling in those gaps that we know are there. But Sweet Pro is doing more than that. It not only supplements, it's also a forage extender so that you get more value out of your forages that you're feeding, the hay that's in your stack or the standing grass. And then it's a great kind of insurance policy with some of the things that we may not know that we're lacking, and having a multifaceted supplement like Sweet Pro and the wide variety of minerals that come in the Redmond Natural Trace Mineral Salt, all in crystalloid form, is a great kind of just insurance policy for your operation. Now, our target at Agri-Best is a healthy digestive system. We feel if you can have a healthy digestive system, basically all of your other systems are going to fall into line. You're going to have improved conception rates. You're going to have better average daily gains. You're going to have a healthy animal and have some excellent cost savings on that, as well as improved revenues. What I wanted to do now is just kind of take and build a Sweet Pro block for you so you kind of know exactly what's in the Sweet Pro block. We start out with the excellent vitamin mineral trace mineral package. About 50 to 55% of the minerals in Sweet Pro are chelated, organically complexed, broken down outside the body, so they're very bioavailable for that animal. What begins to separate us from most other supplements on the marketplace is the carrier that we use. We use dry distillers grains of solubles and condensed distillers solubles. These are excellent carriers, excellent protein source, good energy, good fat sources, kind of a multifaceted supplement. But the big thing is the complex carbohydrate as opposed to a starch or sugar. And that just better lines up with your grasses. The same microbes that break your grasses down are breaking this down, and so very, very bioavailable for the animal. And it's actually been pre-digested at the ethanol plant, so a lot of nutrients that the animal is able to get without a lot of energy going into breaking it down. And then Sweet Pro's golden nugget, and this is what really separates us from everybody, is probiotin. It's a digestive aid of fermented wheat, oats, barley, and flax. Gives you a very wide amino acid profile, which are your building blocks of protein. And instead of distilling the alcohol off, they just blend that all right back in to the block, and that brings yeast and enzymes in that are able to help further break down your forages, and then they're excellent sources of nutrients as they die and move through the system. So the Sweet Pro, and then we recommend having the Redmond Natural Trace Mineral block, either the block or the loose mineral out all the time, and that is your complete nutrition program. It's a complete balanced ration, your forage that you provide, and of course good clean water source there, the Sweet Pro plus the Redmond Natural Trace Mineral, and that provides your energy, your protein, your minerals, both chelated crystalloid, and you get about 25% more digestible energy, protein, and other nutrients from your forages. And that is huge, and that's a big thing that separates Sweet Pro from other products that are out on the marketplace. What I want to do is just take a look real quick here at the negative associative effect. And this is a picture of the rumen. And As you can see, we're not overly creative on our pictures of the rumen, but here over on the left side, so over here on the left side is your pH level. And the pH level between 6 and 6.5 is where the healthy rumen is. That's where the optimal forage fermentation takes place. Now, if you get down below that 6, down in that 6 to 5.5 to 5, you go into subacute acidosis, you lose some performance, you have some health issues, you get too low, and you got acidosis there, you got a sick animal. Now, in the past, we've added energy using grains or molasses, starches, or simple sugars, and that tends to pull down on the pH in the rumen. That's decreased digestive efficiency, and that's actually the negative associative effect, which is the negative effect of starch digestion on fiber digesting bacteria in the rumen. And once again, with starches and sugars, there's different digestive bugs that break them down than that break down complex carbohydrates and forages. You get too much starch too fast, your animals actually go off feed, and that's never a good thing. And down in this area, this 5, 5.5 to 6 there is where your infections and pathogens, you lose some milk production and have difficulty with breed back. On the other hand, if we add energy using the Sweet Pro, a complex carbohydrate, it actually pulls up on the pH in the rumen. And there's no negative associative effect, it's actually a positive associative effect, and the same microbes break down your Sweet Pro as breaking down your forages, so there's no competition in the rumen. Very important when we look at feed efficiencies. Not sure if anybody on the webinar here this evening has horses, but this is just a quick slide here showing you on the horse side of things that your cecum back here and the rumen are very similar, high pH, but a horse has a lot of activity that goes on through the stomach, through breaking down their forages acidically to enzymatically, all the way here through the small intestine to where it finally gets the undigested carbohydrates from the forage dumped back into the cecum. Couple of things, if you get any starches or sugars back into that cecum, it's pretty hard on horses. So that's one thing, and as you can see, the pH level has to go up quite dramatically in a relatively short amount of time. The cattle's digestive system is much more forgiving than a horse's digestive system. I just wanted to show you that. A couple of things on the Sweet Pro products are that there's no urea in them, so they're totally safe. All the products are totally safe for horses, and we've got some products, EquiPride, Equilix, that are designed specifically for horses, and you can connect with us if you're interested in more information on that. I want to go back into the picture of the rumen here and take a little bit different view of it, and these are looking at your forage digesting microbes. These little yellow donut looking like things are just kind of representing the forage digesting microbes there. When we introduce Sweet Pro, we're actually introducing more, getting the right environment for those microbes to multiply, and we're also feeding those microbes with prebiotic oligosaccharides. That's a food that those microbes really like to eat on. And so by adding the Sweet Pro, we increase the number, and as we come along with the Redmond Natural Traceman, we're also giving a good mineral support to the health of those microbes, and that's where we're getting that positive associative effect, that Sweet Pro advantage of forage digestion and feed efficiency increased by that 25%. Taking the same picture of a look at a rumen with, if we're adding a molasses block, there's different digesting microbes there, and so that causes some digestive inefficiency and some competition in the rumen, and that's that negative associative effect. So as we look at moving forward to how do we feed the Sweet Pro, we've got a number of different blocks that connect with as you go from softer to harder, from left to right on your screen there. And you match that up with the age of your cattle. So mature cattle will be over on this side. If on the left side of that would be where your growing cattle would be would fit. So you'd be more down in this calf candy to Sweet Pro 16 area on growing cattle. And then also looking at your quality of your forage, whether it's green grass or hay, over to more bitter, harder dry grass and hay. Most of what we sell in our region up through the Montana, Wyoming, and Nebraska region is the 5-rate 20s this time of year, mature cattle. And we can help you pick the right block for your forage and for your cattle situation. Once again, we're looking at getting a consumption of 3/4 pound to 1.25 pounds. And this is how we hit that target by deciding on a feeding plan. So you as a producer, looking at your forage situation, the health and body condition score of your cattle, and matching that up. If everything's kind of average, we recommend targeting 1 pound per head per day. If things are above average on your ranch, cattle are in really good condition, you got really good quality forage, you can go down to about 3/4 pound of Sweet Pro per head per day and get along just great. If you need to push your cattle along a little bit, start getting cow-calf pairs, that type of thing, you'll want to let it ramp up a little bit more up to that 1.25 pound area. So as you find your feeding plan, then it's simply keeping your daily consumption on target. We want to keep your Sweet Pro out, put it out on day 1, keep Redmond Natural Trace Mineral out, free choice all the time. But then what you simply do is put 1 block per 25 head. That'll last 10 days on this example at 1 pound per head per day. Question is, when does your block run out? Say it runs out on day 7 here. Okay? The block runs out. They have all the nutrients they need on the mineral side, on your protein side, for the full 10-day period for an average of 1 pound per head per day. So the way those animals are created is that they can take on a protein load and a mineral load and utilize it over time. So you just simply wouldn't put out the next block until day 10. You can do this because this is a complex carbohydrate. You cannot do it with starch or sugar because that will cause some serious disruption in the rumen. I want to move on now to the Redmond Natural Trace Mineral. I'll give you just a flyby on that. There's basically 2 different products that are available through Redmond. The Redmond Natural Trace Mineral Salt has 80+ naturally occurring trace minerals in crystalloid form. It comes in the 50-pound bag, just kind of a loose mineral form, or it comes in a pressed block. Now, they don't take any minerals out, or they don't add any minerals in to the natural salt or block, and so it's very synergetic. It's a synergy, the interaction of 2 or more elements. Now here we have 50 to 80 elements, so that their combined value is greater than the sum of their individual values. The other product that Redmond has available, it's a volcanic ash. It's their conditioner, and that comes in the loose form in 50-pound bags or these totes. This natural trace mineral salt, it will enhance any feed program and all livestock, excellent for health, the minerals, the performance, and the big thing is the bottom line, because it actually reduces your mineral costs up to 25% or more. I'll just take a example of this. This is kind of just using a regular white salt program where the salt is, of course, less expensive than the Redmond salt. In this example, it's like $5 a bag, and utilizing a free choice mineral, and at 4 ounces per head per day at a $24 per bag gives you about 13 cents per cow per day. Now with the Redmond salt, the cost of the salt itself is more expensive than the white salt, but it packs a lot bigger punch. There's the 60+ naturally occurring trace minerals in crystalloid form, and what we're seeing is when presented free choice, we're seeing about a decrease in consumption of your free choice mineral by about half. So even with the more expensive salt, your savings on your mineral are saving, so your net or your cost per cow per day on your salt and mineral is about right around 8 cents per day is what we're seeing on average. Something that's very exciting with this Redmond salt and conditioner is it's excellent for soil application. We also have it for human grade, and just wanted to let you know that on the 14th of March we're going to be having a webinar directly related to that on utilizing these sea minerals for your soil health, and we've had a couple of incredible trials, and all the indicators are looking that this is very cost effective and very beneficial for overall health on your pastures or cropland, gardens, lawns, those types of things. So you'll definitely want to sign up for the webinar. That's a week from Thursday night, March 14th. So just as we kind of wrap up here this evening on the formal presentation, I want to go back to this 3-part goal. We've got the animal benefits, forage utilization, and producer profits. Want to focus in on the producer profit side and see that there's basically 4 different ways that we can impact that bottom line. One is we can have something that increases the cost and decreases revenue, and we want to avoid those types of things at all costs. Other things can come along where if we invest a little bit more, perhaps our revenue goes up even greater, and in those areas we want to consider those things very carefully because that could be good to invest a little bit more to get that extra revenue. Other places we may need to or want to look at where can we cut cost, and if we cut cost enough and the revenue goes down less than the cost that we cut, then that could be very important to at least evaluate and look into very closely. Now, if you can find things that you reduce your cost and you increase your revenues, those are things you want to look at very, very carefully and do those as much and as often as possible if those things truly are. And one of the things that we're seeing with the Sweet Pro and the Redmond is that we're seeing reduced costs. We're seeing our hay and forage amounts. Cattle are performing better on less feed, so our costs are actually going down with that. Fewer vet bills. Our labor cost goes down. We're just putting a block out every 10 days or every 13 days or 8 days, whatever it is, the feeding plan you decide on. No special equipment's needed. You can just roll these blocks right out. It's high-tech nutrition in a low-tech dispenser. Just roll them right out of the back of a pickup or off a trailer, and there you have it. It's out there. And the fuel expense, if a person's taking their cattle every day or things like that, there's a lot of fuel expense and labor and equipment costs that go into those types of things. So we're reducing cost, and yet the revenue is going up. We're having increased conception rates, higher weaning weights, better average daily gains, better frame of muscle, and just overall health. So that brings me to the end of what I had this evening, and I'll turn it back over to you, Justin. I do believe we have Dr. Schaefer on the line, so I'll turn it back to you, Justin. All right, Justin, are you able to hear me okay? Okay, he's working on getting back on there. I'm going to unmute your phone here, Dr. Schaefer. Are you able to hear me? Looks like we got a little bit of audio problem going on here.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Okay, we got Dr. Schaefer's on. So Dr. Schaefer is Sweet Pro's nutritionist and works very closely with Agri-Best Feeds. We're super happy to be able to have him on board. And I'll just kind of turn things over to you, Dr. Schaefer, just to share a little bit on your thoughts from the presentation here, also to some of the things that are banging around in your head when you're thinking this time of year and cattle production.
Right. Thanks, Scott. And good review of kind of what we think is going on with Sweet Pro. We're that the concept that you're promoting here and that you're doing a great job of articulating and explaining for folks is the idea of feed extension. And whereas a lot of other products on the market are, allow your cows to eat more, whereas Sweet Pro, we're saying we want those animals to use that forage more efficiently. And when it comes to the bottom line for a producer, that is different. And then there's the different formats given supplements can be presented to the animal in the 250-pound tub with sort of a low-profile case or carrier is useful. So those couple of things about Sweet Pro. And then at this point, as we're moving into calving or where your calving season might be, I think it's important sort of 30 to 60 days pre-delivery to really start thinking about what you're going to do to maximize fertility rate post-calving or post-delivery. And one of the things I think is pretty interesting is providing a supplement like Sweet Pro that 30 to 60 days pre-calving and then up through time when you turn the bull out really does have a significant positive effect for fertility rate this coming breeding season. And normally we don't always think about doing that pre-calving. We generally think about doing that post-calving for sure. But when you move that to pre-calving, I think you have a better chance of having a positive impact sort of across the board. So just put that out there, and if anyone wants to further that concept of when the timing of presenting a supplement with respect to calving and then how that impacts the next breeding season, we can certainly get into that. So, but now's the time to really be thinking that through and using the tools that you have available.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Schaefer. And, of course, he is available for questions here as we get into our question and answer period. As you're kind of thinking of those questions, I do want to give you a little bit of an update as far as other things going on. As Scott said, we do have some upcoming webinars that are going to be taking place, and I encourage you to go to their website, and you can take a look at the resources tab by going to upcoming webinars, and you can look at not only what we've got going on as far as pre and recorded webinars that we've had, but also get a list of what's coming down the pike. As he said, we'll be having our one coming up here in next week, I believe. So put that on your schedule as well. We'll get you the details before we get finished up here tonight. But we do want to give everybody an opportunity for any questions as well. And as Scott's just showing you there, you can see the website there on your site, and kind of get you into the line of all the archived webinars that we've got. Those are all recorded, so if you missed something on tonight's webinar or something that we had previously, you can go to those. You can take a listen and look at those, look at the slides on some of those as well. So good resource here at agribestfeeds.com. That's the website you can go to, not only cattle stuff, but of course horses and other livestock products as well. Encourage you to go to their website. And like you said, if you do have questions, you can give them a call at their world headquarters in Billings, Montana at 866-601-6646. Again, we want to give anybody the opportunity for questions out there here tonight, and don't want to rush off too quick, but we don't want to necessarily keep you forever either as well, and we appreciate everybody being on here for our webinar tonight. With not having too many questions, one way, of course, you can just raise your hand. There's a status up there at the very top that will know that you have a question, or you can type in the chat area down below, and we'll know that you got a question as well. And again, just a reminder that we do have those upcoming webinars, so be sure to get signed up for those. Looks like everybody's pretty quiet here tonight. I'll kind of run back through some of our, Dr. Schaefer, you were on here. I think you're still unmuted. Maybe some final comments here tonight.
Yes, sir. As one of the things Scott mentioned was the price of hay and how you can extend those nutrients that are available in that hay using a Sweet Pro supplement. And I like the day cost estimator that Scott has available. As cost of hay goes up, that savings becomes more significant. And that's just something to have in the back of your mind as you consider different management options that you have available.
You bet. Thanks, Dr. Schaefer. And Scott's got it pulled up there. You can see on your screen, and $200 ton hay is right on the money, at least on the minimum on a lot of hay. And so I think it shows you, as you see there, a 31-cent per day cost savings per cow. And so a huge benefit. I encourage you, as he pointed out, to go to that website. They had this spreadsheet that you can download. You can plug in your numbers. There's also another spreadsheet I encourage you to utilize as well that they had on their website that allows you to just kind of go in and do some other cost estimations against other feed supplements as well. So very useful resources by going to their website. Scott, some final comments tonight as our presenter.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Justin. Thanks, Dr. Schaefer, for being on this evening, and thank you, everybody, for your time this evening. Just on the quick correction on that, it's not necessarily your savings of 31 cents. This is actually putting 31 cents in your pocket after you've already paid for all of your supplement and everything. So it's actually a 75-cent hay savings, and you get your product totally free. Plus, well, not free. You still have to pay for it, but that investment, you get that investment back through your hay savings, and that's something that we're just really excited about. So I want to thank everybody for their time this evening, especially on very busy time. A lot of guys are starting to calve, and we just pray that everything goes well with that. And I guess that's all I've got this evening, Justin.
All right, thanks, Scott. And as we said earlier, if you want to listen to the recorded version of tonight's webinar, I encourage you to go to their website at agribestfeeds.com. And if you have any questions on tonight's products or anything that we talked about, I encourage you to visit with your dealer that invited you to tonight's webinar, or feel free to give Agri-Best Feeds a phone call at their world headquarters in Billings, Montana at 866-601-6646. Thank you for being on tonight's webinar, and on behalf of Agri-Best Feeds, our sponsor of tonight's presentation, thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.